There was something dazzling in the sky last night, and we're not talking about New Year's Eve fireworks.
Well, people from all over Northern California contacted us to report a bizarre flying object or objects. Most of the sightings happened just after midnight.
News 10's George Warren spent the day trying to identify the unidentified flying objects.
Well, we saw it right through the trees. It was bright enough to shine directly through the trees without any problem seeing it.
Stephen Brown watched it over Sacramento. Hans Mount spotted it over Auburn.
Kind of approached from over that direction and came across kind of slow.
Did they see the same thing that Kay Pinlack saw in Stockton?
Pretty much right above this palm tree here.
Multiple objects, he says, captured on his iPhone.
Guys, I seen like 6 bright orange color lights, and they're like almost in a diamond or triangle shape. It was weird, and then so they started just separating.
You see that other one up there on the right, though?
And not just Northern California. Somebody posted this video from the Hollywood Hills on YouTube. Multiple glowing objects out there among the New Year's Eve fireworks.
And now it's 3 more.
There's 2 of them.
No.
There's
1,
3
2,
all
3,
together, right?
4. No, it's 4 now.
In Auburn, Hans and his wife Terry saw it a few hours earlier than the other sightings.
But there was no sound. That's the funny thing.
Or the lights, you know, the usual lights.
No sound, no blinking lights, just this big illuminated form.
And whatever it was moved up and to the left. It hovered there for probably about 60 seconds, and then it took off at a high rate of speed out of sight directly away from us and just disappeared.
Of course, we're always looking for rational explanations for UFO sightings. This 2008 sighting over the Sacramento Valley turned out to be an airplane with an electronic sign under the wings. A year later, a mysterious flashing light near Placerville turned out to be arcing power lines.
There's a light.
We're still waiting to find out if there's a rational explanation for what people saw last night all across California.
Now, an FAA spokesman tells me that there was no unusual aircraft activity reported to the FAA last night. If this was some sort of hoax, it would have to be a pretty elaborate one because it was seen by so many people all over California.
Well, yeah, up and down the state, which is interesting, and within hours of each other.
Yeah, so the earliest sighting we heard about was about 8 p.m. up in Auburn. Terry and Hans, they said it was just a single object they saw, very moving unnaturally, too fast for a balloon, too slow for an airplane. In Sacramento as well, Stephen said that it was a single object hovering and then streaking away. And then, of course, down in Stockton, the multiple objects, as in Hollywood.
That's the interesting part, that it was hovering and then it started cruising. Yeah. That suggests, yeah, it's not a balloon or
there's some intelligent control of this thing.
Nothing showed up on radar that the FAA is willing
Not
to...
that they're telling us. We also
sure
talked,
they would, yeah.
We checked with Travis Air Force Base in Beale, and they said, of course, nothing unusual happening.
All right. Yeah. Well, you know, it'll be interesting if someone can step forward and offer an explanation.
This is News Channel 21 at 6.
Is it a lantern, just a flashing light, or is that something else? Did some people right here in Central Oregon and all across the Northwest really ring in New Year with a UFO? Intriguing. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Matt McDonald.
And I'm Alicia Inns. We got phone calls here about weird flying objects on New Year's Eve. Folks even posted pictures on our Facebook page about this.
Being New Year's Eve, we had to wonder how credible they were at the moment. But it turns out Central Oregon isn't alone in this. People also spotted these bright flashing lights in California and in Medford. Kendra Kent's here now with the story. Kendra?
Alicia and Matt, the couple I spoke with today swear it wasn't a floating lantern or some kind of firework display zipping around outside their Bend home. Now, I also spoke with an aviation instructor at COCC today. He says there's probably a practical explanation. Still, the sighting left many amazed. Millions greeted the new year with the usual. Others say they saw something very unusual.
It would stop and hover and be all shimmery like a forest fire color.
Something they'd never seen before.
That's really weird.
Yeah, because you can see all different kinds of lights on it.
This is video Pam Stewart of Bend shot outside her home on New Year's Eve. She describes a floating, flashing light she saw off in the distance. A flying object she says couldn't be a lantern.
And it was moving horizontal, and then just off.
Hundreds of miles away in California, others say they also saw something odd in the night sky.
Almost in a diamond or triangle shape. It was weird.
This big illuminated form.
And whatever it was moved up and to the left. It hovered there for probably about 60 seconds.
And back here in Oregon, Eric Whitford took this photo from his Medford home and shared it with us on Facebook. "No, this is not fireworks," he writes. "This object came in from the left of us and then just stopped. Another appeared and both disappeared. This was really amazing to watch." Could it be a UFO, a drone, a trick of the light? Even aerial experts say that's up in the air.
It's very hard to determine what it could or couldn't be. Probably eliminate meteorites. The concept of a formation of some sort of, flying vehicles, again, airplanes, helicopters, hot air balloons, any of those are possible.
A practical explanation, but what it actually was up in the sky will likely remain a mystery. And many of us can't help but to think of the extraordinary.
Unidentified flying object, you don't know what it is. I would think that there's other life out there, not just us alone.
Not quite as bright as the fireworks, but just as spectacular. And although several people across California reported these sightings, federal authorities said today there has been no unusual flight activity in the area.
What the fuck is that shit going up in the sky? What the fuck is that shit? Yo, get over here. That light's moving over. Get over here and get, like, over here. Yo, what the fuck is that shit, dude? Dude, what the fuck is that shit? But yeah, but if it was on fire, it wouldn't fall. That ain't going down, kid. Oh, it's getting lighter though. Happy New Year, aliens.
Fucking aliens in fucking Cali!